I was filing the motions for myself, losing everything. The only thing I did win on was the restitution, which most people don't know. And the restitution, just so everybody understand what that is, because they think, oh, why you got restitution if you didn't steal no money? The restitution was given to Bobby Ferguson on a single contract. One contract, the Macomb County Interceptor, which was a $56 million contract. The government surmised that because an intricate scheme was used by me and him to get him a subcontract, that the city paid extra this much money. So the restitution he has to pay, and we're joint and severally liable for that restitution. That's where the restitution came from. And it comes from, so anyway, they didn't do an accounting of that. They didn't assign the money. So I attacked it. So it went from 9.6 million down to 4.7. I filed again. It went from 4.7 to 1.5. I filed a letter again that said I don't owe 1.5. The appellate court kept agreeing with me. There was no loss in this case. There's no stealing. There's no missing money. There's no in this case. And so now my restitution, just so you all know, is about $154,000. So I got 28 years for what they say now is $154,000. I still say they wrong. It's zero. I've been saying it's zero since I left the courtroom. So $154,000 is a lot closer to zero than 9.6. So I just want y'all to know, he won't pay it. That was the thing to get y'all mad at me again. He won't pay it. I don't owe it. I don't owe it. If I came up to you and say, hey, give me that 50,000 you owe me. The first question you asked me, 50,000, what I owe you 50,000 for? When I ask what I owe you 4.7 million for, show me. Yeah, they put in the paper that I don't want to pay. I get to ask, what is this tied to? But that's all right. We fighting, and I don't let it bother me when y'all get mad at me because y'all say I got y'all, but I just know the truth.
Okay. Reloaded. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to Current Detroit News Playlist. I came across this on Instagram. So Kwame Kilpatrick talked about his restitution. Now, this is a big thing if you around. You know, people in the city of Detroit are mad that he owes this money that was all the way up to over $4 million, according to him, to the city for stealing from the city. He clarifies and says, hey, I didn't steal anything from the city. I got it down from 4.7, I think, million dollars down to 154,000. I still believe I owe zero. He said I got convicted of pretty much everything else but restitution. And you know, he explained it like it was, you know, for a deal that he did, and they both had to pay it, and he basically kept fighting it, and that he didn't steal from the city of Detroit. And you know, to be honest, you know, it's the misnomer that when black people took over the city of Detroit, Detroit got broke. Detroit was broke. How you think Albert Kobo got into it? And I've done videos on the channel about Albert Kobo, Hassan Hussein getting the city of Detroit. So I do these videos from time to time. And, you know, going back to Albert Kobo, before black people even had the power to be in position, I want to say 50s, 60s, can't remember, I think 50s, 50, something like that, 40s, 50s. I don't remember offhand, right? He was the emergency manager that was sent to put Detroit back financially. You know, the reason Cobo Hall, and that was pretty much the video, was about why did Cobo Hall go from, they took the name from Cobo to TCF, whatever it's called, and whatever it's called now, is because he was racist. He didn't want to allow, you know, black people into the city. Long story short, you can go find a video, put Cobo and my channel name in there, it should come up, right? I'm not here to talk about that. So Detroit has had financial crisis for quite some time, you know, before Kwame Young, before Kwame Kilpatrick. And politicians have got away with literally murder, which, you know, some people believe that he has something to do with that Mongolian Mansion stuff. Look here, I was a teenager, kid when that happened. You know, and I remember a few years ago, I believe the daughter of the woman that was slain, she was speaking out against him and all that stuff. He did his time. I know there was some talks that he bought a house, either it was in Florida, up here in Northville, Novi, or something like that. And it was like, oh, you can buy a house, but you can't pay back the money that you stole from the city. So he's clarifying that up, and he says wherever you go. So at the end of the day, you know, at some point, you know, the city should have addressed it. He addressed it, and let's see if somebody from the city readdresses it as far as, okay, is this true or not true? You know, and at the end of the day, you was like, why would the guy lie? It should be public information. And, you know, people say, well, you know, he misused his power. And, you know, for my thing about it is this: when you get into positions of power, I'll say this: he was young, but when you get into positions of power and you're a black man or a black woman, you got to understand you can't ride crooked, you can't ride dirty, bro. You have to follow everything to the T. You have to. I understand people gonna come here and say, well, this guy did it or that guy was able to do it. He got away with that. You know, we know the circumstances that certain people get in positions of power. We know we under a microscope. So why even try stealing money? I'm not saying he did steal money or nothing like that. Why even try any funny business? Why abuse your power? Kwame Kilpatrick had the mind, the charisma, the vision. The city was on fire when he was here. You know, I remember, short cut myself off, short story. I remember he was going through all that shit. I was going to college right around that time. When he was actually going through all the bullshit, the city was down bad. You know, I remember the drug dealers, the weed was trash. Remember the lights, the street lights wasn't on. Like, the city was in a bad position. And you know, but yeah, the city's in a bad position. But you got to understand, when you're in a position of power and you're a minority, especially a black man, black woman, dog, they looking for any slip, any fall, any crook, anything illegal you doing. They're gonna find that. No matter how smart you think you are, you have to understand that you're under a microscope. So that's why when I was in positions of power, you know, I wasn't clapping no cheeks, or I kept a straight business. I was a straight shooter. You have to be able to be mature enough to know to resist the lust, to resist the money, to resist the illegal, because it's going to come back on you tenfold. And he had the vision, and he had the potential to be the president of the United States, especially the mayor of Michigan. He had that type of ability, but, you know, you got the earring in your ear, and, you know, he should have cleared that up. You know, he should have played the role. And, you know, whatever, you know, he was doing whatever, the best thing to do was just fly straight. And I understand all politicians damn near are crooked. That's a fact. All politicians are damn near crooked. And it's a crooked game, it's a dirty game. You can't win a fair fade with a politician. And I get it. I remember the race. I was in high school when he went through the race. Matter of fact, let me say that. He was fighting, going against Freeman Hendricks. My mom knew Freeman Hendricks, and his daughter used to work out at the gym. Very beautiful young lady. Woman, excuse me. So, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, that's his truth. That's what he want to speak. And he got to live with it. He got to live with the failed potential that he had that could have changed everything. How much hope and help he could have gave people. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, young, dumb, you're a politician. I can get away with this, that, and the third. The city is mine. You just have to understand, as a black person, that they gonna get you if you slip. If you slip, they gonna get you. They gonna get you. So you gotta be as perfect as possible, close to perfection as possible, man. But like I said, that's his truth. Every time he buy a house or do something, you know, his ex-wife moved on with the children, and he brought shame upon them. And, you know, so be it. He did his time. You know, and at the end of the day, if y'all feel like he did something so wrong, gotta deal with him. You know, so be it. But there's a lot of these politicians that made a lot of these backdoor dirty deals. People came up missing, and I ain't justifying what he did. You know, but you know, y'all know the game. You know a little bit about politics. The real fair politicians don't never get in positions to help nobody, because it's not created to help. It's created to have the citizens in a hamster wheel, on a hamster wheel. You know, you got to remember that. You have to be able to help yourself within the confines of the rules that they put out there. And believe me, every day I have to remind myself, hey man, I got to pick it up. I got to pick it up. I got to pick it up, because I can pick it up, and I know I will pick it up. The hardest thing is just to get started, because One thing I learned about Americans is that they're fucking lazy. So somebody became a millionaire off of hanging pictures or hanging TVs. People don't want to do things for themselves. So that's all I had to really say about it, man. I do appreciate y'all for showing me the love. Hit the link in the description. Join my other channels. I'm on X, Instagram, Facebook, my other platforms, all in the link tree. It's the first link in the description. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Peace.